First of all, it's absolutely ridiculous. And I want to say this. Who pays their bills off the Dow? Nobody pays their bills off the Dow. You pay your bills off the paycheck. You know how much comes in and how much goes out. And this ridiculous war that Donald Trump, been in classified briefings, armed services, foreign relations. We can't say what they did in there, which is another issue, but they have not shown an imminent threat to enter this war. And now food is up, electricity is up, gas is up, and the gas prices are going to cause food to go up more and more. And he hasn't done a damn thing to help anybody at the kitchen table. No one pays their bills off the Dow. They pay their bills off their paycheck. And when the paycheck doesn't go as far as it did before, or when you're losing your job to AI or whatever it is, why should the American people have to say they're going to have to take a little pain? Where's the pain that Donald Trump feels? None.
Listen to former Senator, current Vice President J.D. Vance, and then an aspiring member of the United States Senate candidate, Michelle Tafoya, talking about gas prices.
Look, gas prices are up, and we know they're up, and we know that people are hurting because of it, and we're doing everything that we can to ensure that they stay lower. I will say, the president said this, and I certainly agree with it. This is a temporary blip.
Maybe you take one less trip to Starbucks, and so that gas goes a little further until this thing is over and these gas prices come back down again. Let's just try to be patriots about this.
I don't know if a lot of folks in this country have taken a trip to Starbucks this week, but I know people that still have to get their children to school. I know people that still have to get to work. And so I'm just wondering if this resonates with people in Nevada.
It's kind of like let them eat cake. You'll have one less Starbucks. When people can't pay their bills, when people can't fill up their tank, they're in a billionaire bubble over there. And how do people in Nevada feel? They're losing their health care. Tourism is down because of the tariffs. Tariffs up, prices up, and nothing has been done in this administration to address affordability. Take more pain? Take more pain. How much more can people take? And so it's absolutely ridiculous that they're going on and on. No justification, no imminent threat. $1 billion a day. You know how many hungry kids that could feed? You know how many folks who are sick that could help? They cancel pediatric cancer research, RFK Jr. Maybe they could fund some of that back. And maybe they could return that $220 million that Kristi Noem spent on that, her segment of, well, she wants to be in Yellowstone, I think, $220 million on that commercial, her ad campaign. And so maybe they need to return that, because I know there are people hurting, not just in Nevada, across this country, and that money could be spent right here, right now, for good.
So, Senator, I've asked other Democratic senators what happens when all of a sudden Republicans need to decide if they want to sign their name to legislation allowing a larger budget for this war. Other Democratic senators have contended this is already Republicans' war. They have already signed off on Donald Trump and his mission here. I do think it is fundamentally different when they decide to vote in favor of a supplemental. What are you hearing for your Republican colleagues about where they are on sending more money to a war that does not have a specific end goal or a specific sense of what victory looks like?
Well, I'm afraid that they're too afraid of the president. They are so ready to bend and take a knee for whatever the president says, that they will vote to send us down the slippery slope of war in the Middle East, again, with no proof of imminent threat. And they haven't come out in the light of day from those classified hearings to even let us talk about it. Haven't come to us for a supplemental, haven't talked to us. Last time I checked, Donald Trump isn't a king. He just doesn't say, I get to declare war, I'm in, I'm out, and just leave the rubble behind. We have men and women in uniform there, 13 have already lost their lives. Folks injured, and there'll be injuries that you can see, and soldiers carry those injuries that you can't see for the rest of their lives. So there's a lot going on here, and the Republicans need to be mindful of the real toll that it takes on us and bring Donald Trump a little bit back to reality.
Well, that reality is something that he tries to avoid as much as possible, because as the political headlines noted yesterday, that Donald Trump is pressuring the Hill on voter verification, the SAVE Act, but not his own housing plan. Yeah. So going back to what you were saying
he's
about...
trying to save his butt act.
He's trying to save his butt act. I like that, Senator. I like that a lot.
I would have said something else.
So talk about what that sounds like in the cloakroom, off the floor, when you're talking to Republicans who are sitting there looking at this pressure campaign to pass something that they know at the end of the day voters don't want, and two, does not advance the ball for them back in their districts or across their states.
I think they're in a panic because the war is unpopular. This is why Donald Trump's trying to blame everybody else, just like he always does. The minute it doesn't suit his needs, he throws somebody under the bus and blames them. The war is not popular. The prices are up. The SAVE Act, this is not a voter ID.
So they just want to take the vote.
They just want to take the vote. And plus, I know for your previous segment, this is a distraction from Epstein, too, because they figure the longer we're talking about this, the more he doesn't have to be held accountable.
Talk about that.